Hey, everybody, we're here with Bernie Sanders in an exclusive interview following his suspension of his campaign this afternoon. Senator, thanks again for being here. Here's my next question. Given the unprecedented crisis they're in right now, what do you think, as a senator, as you said, you're not going away, what do you think you and your colleagues in Congress should do next? What's the next bit of legislation?
All right, this is what I think. I think from the healthcare perspective, we need to force the president to use the Defense Production Act to produce everything that our doctors, our nurses, our medical personnel need.
Can he use that to actually stop price gouging? Because right now the states are competing against each other for ventilators, and then FEMA sweeps in and they try to raise the price by bidding, and then other countries bid. Can there be a set fair price?
Absolutely. Absolutely they can. And this is an emergency. This is what happened during World War II. You know, Ford and General Motors stopped making cars and they started making tanks. Right now, what we need is to make the masks, to make the ventilators, to make the gowns, to make all of the equipment and products that our medical people need. That's number one. Number two, I happen to believe that in the economic crisis, where we're seeing just in the last 2 weeks, officially 10 million people applied for unemployment, but the numbers of people who lost their jobs, I believe, is a lot higher than that. That the easiest approach, the most cost-effective approach, if you like, is simply to do what many European countries are doing and saying, you know what, we are going to continue the paycheck that you got before you were laid off. Now, we did that within the airline industry. In that last bill, we told 2 million workers in the airline industry, and that industry obviously has been decimated by this crisis. We told 2 million workers, you will continue to get your paycheck for 6 months if the crisis lasts that long. I think we should do that for every worker in America. And I think that is, frankly, the easiest, less bureaucratic way to get money out to people to ease the stress that so many people are feeling right now. There are people, millions of families in America today, Stephen, that are worried about how they're going to feed their kids tomorrow, how they're going to pay their rent, how they're going to pay their mortgage, how they're going to keep their car. And I think if we can say to those people, you're going to continue to get your paycheck, that will be the right thing to do economically and certainly make millions of Americans breathe a sigh of relief.
Now, yesterday was the primary in Wisconsin, which was a complete mess. Given what we saw yesterday, how it was impossible to keep the polling stations open without endangering the poll workers, how do we make sure that we have a smooth election in November?
Well, what I saw yesterday in Wisconsin was unbelievable. It was probably the ugliest thing that I have ever seen from a political perspective in my life, because what the wonderful people of Wisconsin were forced to do is to literally put their lives on the line, to wait online in order to cast a ballot. And I am, you know, what the Republicans did, the governor there tried to do the right thing, tried to delay the election. Republicans, for their own, I guess, their own perceived political gains, forced that election to go forward. They got a right-wing Supreme Court there that okayed what they did. So I think, you know, I don't know what the world is going to look like in November. Nobody does. But I will tell you that I and many of my colleagues are working as hard as we can to come up with the money and the law to make sure that in November, if it is necessary, that the American people can vote by paper ballot. And I will tell you, and it doesn't give me any pleasure to tell you this, you would think, well, that's kind of a no-brainer. Yeah, of course, you don't want people to put their lives on the line to have to go out and vote in person. But I will tell you that there is strong resistance coming from Republicans. And you know why that resistance is coming? They understand that through paper ballots, there will be a large voter turnout. And they don't like large voter turnout. They want a smaller voter turnout because they believe that their people are more likely to vote than lower income people or young people who might take advantage of the paper ballot. And I think that's pretty pathetic, to tell you the truth. I would hope that no matter what your political view is, you do everything you can to make sure that as many people as possible participate in our democracy.
Well, Senator, last question before I let you go. Before you made this announcement, did anyone notify Larry David?
You think he's pretty upset that he's going to lose his a 4-year gig there? I don't know.
I don't know.
No. Actually, to be honest with you, I just told Jane and I just told our kids this morning. So
Okay.
that's
Well, Larry, this is your notice. Senator, thank you so much for being here. Good luck with your work in the Senate and keeping the torch alive and holding it high. And thank you so much for giving us the honor of the first interview after your announcement. Stay
well,
safe.
thank you, Steve. Thank you very much. You keep up the great work as well.
Thank you, sir. Senator Bernie Sanders, everybody. We'll be right back.